Yes, people, welcome back to the first XI. We're going to do a breakdown of the Man United Leeds game. This is Grounded Football United. We've got Rachel as ever, Danny, Devil in the Details, and Was, United Analytics. Please go and follow him as well. If you're a big Man United fan, go and watch him. And actually, even if you're a rival, go and watch him, because there's a lot of nonsense that gets spread about Man United. And this guy is just pure facts. His threads are incredible. He follows a lot of people and retweets a lot of stuff. Top guy. I'm excited for this. Rachel, we got a load of slides from everyone. Everyone's got a bit of input here. So where are we going to start?
We are going to start with just sort of basic stuff. So we're going to go into like sort of the setup and general style of play for United and for Leeds. And then we're going to go into the little segments that obviously Was and Danny have sort of brought for us. So from what I've seen in the game, obviously we can sort of discuss it. I felt that we were playing sort of a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 sort of hybrid offensively. And then defensively, we were playing like a 4-4-2. I noticed that Daniel James played a big part in this because he was actually the one pressing with Mason Greenwood quite high up the pitch. And it actually led to our first goal. It was a rotational sort of fluid front line. So our front four were brilliant. They rotated the whole game. And there was Robert Koch. I think his name's Robert Koch. He was the defensive midfielder, and he's actually a centre-back usually. And he really struggled to pick up Bruno and Pogba in this game. And he looked out of sorts for most of it due to the whole fluidity of the team. So it was really good to watch. And some issues that we sort of had was mainly defensively, I noticed, where there was a bit of space between the defence and the midfield. And a couple of times Leeds got through, and they were able to exploit that space, but their final ball wasn't the greatest. So
I disagree with you on that for a reason. I disagree, but I tell you why it weren't as much as an issue as you think later.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was some poor offensive play on the right side. So I said that Daniel James contributed massively to the press. His movement was very good, but in terms of on the ball, I felt like the right side wasn't as good as the middle or the left side. But yeah, we can go into that after as well. And then we have like Leeds. So they played a 4-1-4-1, as I said, offensively, and defensively it was a 4-5-1. We know it's a man marking system, and we know that they usually press really well. But in this game, their press was poor, which we'll go into. And overall, their final ball was pretty horrendous. I thought they were poor on the ball, personally. But yeah, we'll go into that. So got this image here. I think a lot of people saw an image similar to this, actually, that was going around Twitter. But you can see here, this is actually kind of like a 4-3-3. And it's Pogba, Mctominay, and Fred in the middle. And then you've got Daniel James, Bruno Fernandes, and Mason Greenwood as part of the front three. So we sort of split between the two. Like it was kind of a combination, as I said, of a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. Because the players were so fluid and they rotated quite a lot, their positions weren't fixed, which was amazing. And it caused a lot of problems for Leeds overall. Sorry, my dog's bugging me. And then we've got this here, which is basically Leeds' press. Danny spoke about this on his video as well. And it was basically an issue with Patrick Bamford's role was literally to stop the passing line between our centre-backs, which you can see here. But it gave Lindelof and Maguire a hell of a lot of space to just drive with the ball. And we know that Lindelof has the capability of being a very good passer. We've seen it a few times in previous seasons. But in this game, he just had the freedom to do whatever he wanted, which is crazy. And he got to drive in there. And he made quite a few great balls towards like Paul Pogba, towards Mason Greenwood, and even towards Bruno as well, which caused one of the goals. So I don't know what you guys made of Leeds' press, but I thought it was pretty poor overall.
I'll let Wes go first.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the press, as you can see in that image as well, where Bamford is allowing Lindelof to drive into space. We know Lindelof's capabilities in terms of threading the ball through midfield, and often he'll find McTominay, who is advancing from Fred. McTominay will be advanced of Fred in this image. And then I thought McTominay had a really good game in terms of keeping the ball. He was tidy, and he was looking for the forward pass. And I think that happened for the first goal, if you remember, when McTominay threads it into Pogba. Pogba hits it around the corner, and then Fernandes controls it and scores. And I think for Leeds, normally their press is good, but I think they were a bit unsure whether to come or whether to sit, and it was leaving spaces in between.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny, what did you want to add to it?
Yeah, just that. I don't know if you'll get to it, but a problem as well, like in midfield, they go in man for man. So because Bamford's just like, he's just trying to cut out passing lanes, sometimes one of the midfielders man marking would go and press the centre backs in some situations, and then one of our midfielders is free. So the problem I have is that Leeds didn't make any tactical adjustments. That's what surprised me. They just kept doing the same thing, and we just kept exploiting what they were doing. So you can see it here. You can see McTominay sort of near the top right, left of Paul Pogba. He's being man marked. That player's now leaving Fred in the centre circle. Bruno's being man marked there at the sort of bottom right. So yeah, it's just weird from Leeds. Very, very weird that they didn't make any adjustments. And that fullback tracking Pogba, that was rare. And even then, he wouldn't. There's sometimes where he just stopped because he's like, I'm not supposed to be coming this far. Because Paul Pogba will come in the 10 position sometimes. I don't know if you got slides of it. So the right back's like, if he's in the 10 position, why am I here? So he holds his role because he's like, I can't be in the 10 position as a right back. It doesn't make any sense. So it was poor from Bielsa. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Paul Pogba was a nuisance in this game, and so was Bruno. And we've, like, as Danny said in his video as well, we've seen this before with Bruno and Pogba, this sort of dynamic. So we know that Ollie's always liked to play fluid football, and he likes the idea of a fluid front three, which is why when I say to people that Sancho will be absolutely fine at Manchester United, I hope now they'd actually understand why. Because he's not going to be fixed as a right winger. He's going to roam, and people are going to interchange with him. So it's a great signing for us, and he'll add so much to the quality. Indiana, what do you think?
Firstly, I think Leeds in the press, I agree. It was half-hearted, right? It was neither one thing or another, and like Danny said, nothing changed. Like nothing really changed the whole game. In terms of the front four, I'm excited. Personally, I'm excited to see this. Like we're gonna have games where we face low blocks and Pogba's gonna have time on the ball. So Bruno, they're gonna interchange. We're gonna have times where we might play high lines and we might see a Rashford or Martial out left. Like we've got options and we're blessed and I love it. But yeah, I think it was a great game to see what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
For me. It allowed us to get on the ball, and Leeds didn't play well. They didn't play well, but we still got to score the goals, right? And it wasn't like they were sloppy goals, in my opinion. Like the build up to them was really good. The movement was great, but that front four really excited me. The fact that it was so fluid.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. Obviously, we've got Shivam, who's always here. We'll try and answer your questions as much as we can, but there's quite a lot to get through. And this is what happens when me, Was, and Danny combine, and we end up having a crap ton of slides. So we will try and get to your questions.
Just before you go, first thing, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow everybody. Links are in the description. You know what to do. But there is someone in here I haven't spoke to for a long time. Samuel's in here, Liverpool fan.
Oh.
Nice to see Samuel back in here. Jem's in here. He's a supporter of the fourth best team in the Premier League, Chelsea.
Yeah, big up, guys. Big up Ravi as well. My preferred formation, I've told you this before, it's 0-10-0. And yeah, just big up to everyone in the chat. So the next slide I'm going to look at is sort of like so obviously I think it was Weiss who spoke about this earlier about Bruno dropping deep and Pogba going into sort of the 10 position. It sort of started here actually. You see how deep Bruno Fernandes is. And he lays the ball off to Scott McTominay. He was, as you guys said, he was brilliant in this game. Started from Lindelof. Nice little flick on. McTominay picked up the ball. He plays it in to Mason Greenwood. And Mason Greenwood drives towards the box. And he gets a shot off. But obviously, we're going to speak about Greenwood, but just briefly, how good was Greenwood in this game?
He was excellent. Funny enough, he would have had 2 assists if Pogba scored, or maybe at least 1. And then he created a chance for Dan James as well. Beautiful, beautiful through ball for James. So it was a complete performance from him, to be honest with you. And we'll get into the slides later, but I've always said this. Regardless of his age, if he wants to play as a striker now, it has to be 1 and 2 touch. He's not strong enough and he doesn't have the ability to hold off strong centre backs.
Yeah.
These centre backs were aggressive in some occasions, we'll see later, but they're not physically strong. So the only way he can play as a striker for me is 1 and 2 touch, and we'll see what he did later in regards to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's the next slide? This is another example of Lindelof getting too much space, and he passes the ball into Mason Greenwood, but it was cleared out by the defender. And I just want to talk about, again, this is McTominay's run. So balls come down, Bruno Fernandes picks it up, and he plays the ball through to McTominay. Now, McTominay made these runs all throughout the game. So there's this one here, and this one here. McTominay is not actually involved in this until Greenwood actually lays it off to him, but McTominay's made the run from here, and you see Wan-Bissaka plays the ball in, and then McTominay makes the run forward and he picks it up.
Can I just point something out quickly when you're done? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, go on, go for it.
So what we were saying before about the man marking in midfield, we saw it in the previous slide, I forgot to mention it, when McTominay was free. It's because they're man marking. So as soon as McTominay runs, the guy can't keep up with him. And that's what happened again. Yeah, McTominay is free because they're man marking and he's made that run in behind. He's already got some distance between him and that player. Funny enough, if Greenwood actually tries to play it to Fred, if he plays to McTominay is clear again in the exact same way he was when Bruno came deep as well.
Well, this is the one that leads to Paul Pogba's shot. So McTominay drives it through. He actually picks up the ball and he plays it to Greenwood, and then Greenwood plays it to Paul Pogba. And this is where Paul Pogba really should have scored. Really disappointing. But what obviously want to speak about is the dynamic of the front four. So you can see here, like Mason Greenwood's dropped in, so he drops deeper than say Bruno. Bruno's actually on the right here. Daniel James is playing furthest forward, and Pogba's obviously on the left. This happened all throughout the game. Daniel James made a lot of runs into the middle, and Bruno would shift to like the wide areas. Greenwood would be basically everywhere. And we're going to go on to the dynamic of the front four right now, which whilst you can go through this with us, because obviously these are your slides. So talk to us about these slides.
Yeah, so firstly, I wanted to mention with McTominay with those third man runs, he was making them often in the previous tie at Old Trafford when we won, was it 6-2? He was running beyond the midfield. Phillips was basically outnumbered in midfield because there was only one sitting. They didn't expect McTominay to make those runs as well, and then he did the same again this weekend. And I think it's a bit poor from Bielsa not to learn from that. But anyway, with this, I just wanted to show the position of Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, as you can see at the top on the first, you can see he's drifted into that number 10 position. And a dynamic, what will work with United is if we can get Fernandes to advance, there's a space on the edge of the box that's vacated. And this is a position where Pogba can roam around, he can advance into, and then you can see him, as in the first image, he receives it. And then in the second image, you can even see him like using his arm, his upper body strength. And Paul Pogba, he can hold off most midfielders and defenders in the league. He can hold them off, and then he can pick the right pass as he did in the image, as you can see. And then Fernandes scores. And then often as well, you'd see Greenwood drop in as well, where Pogba is, and Fernandes will make runs beyond the striker. And I felt Leeds couldn't handle it. And I also feel it's a dynamic United are going to continue with going forward.
That's the thing with those, right? So if you are playing to man mark or pick up a player, how do you pick them up? When it's that fluid and we can change like that, it's almost impossible to pick these players up, especially players like Pogba, because he's so intelligent, right? And Bruno Fernandes, when he pushes on, we're always going to create space like that.
Yeah, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he also mentioned that his out-and-out number 9 is Edinson Cavani, who would probably sit between the penalty area. Everyone else is fluid. Martial can play middle, left. Rashford, left, middle. You got Greenwood. You got Fernandes, who can play false 9 somewhat. Pogba on the left can play centrally, as he created that goal from Mason Greenwood. So there's a lot of interchange there. And I think with the addition of Sancho as well, who can pretty much play across the midfield 3 or behind the striker, that we've got a very fluid line, which will make it very difficult for opposition to mark.
Do you know what's crazy as well? Just to highlight how poor Leeds are. In the first slide there, look at the space Paul Pogba's got. That's criminal. You can't give him that space. And the reason why he's got that space is the player closest to him is used to marking Bruno, who of course is on the right-hand side of the second slide, running in behind for the pass from Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
They didn't adapt. Just like, okay, Bruno's not around. Who do I pick up? You pick up the person in that space. Every time I see this, I'm just like, Bielsa. Keep hearing how good this guy is, but he made these same mistakes last season. Just highlights how poor they are.
Yeah, but even from Bielsa's point of view, even if you start the game making a mistake because you've tried to anticipate something, why didn't he change it in the game at all?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't change it at all, and they constantly got punished for it. So that's what's very strange to me as well.
Well, he
Fair enough,
could-
he made a mistake with the lineup or the tactics.
He doubled down on his tactics. So it's like, what we're trying to do it better. It seems like that's his idea, as opposed to let's change something.
Yeah, what Bielsa could have done, he could have gone to a 4-2-3-1, and then you'll have someone alongside. Is it Robert Koch? And then because you got two midfielders there, Pogba wouldn't be free as he is in that image, as you can see on screen. So I think just little adaptations like that in a game, you should be making them. But that's why Pogba's got so much space, because there's only one holding midfielder, not two.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point, to be honest with you. Anyone want to add anything about these slides, or this slide even?
No, I think we've seen.
Yeah, go on next. Go on the next one. If there is one.
Yeah, you got 4, so you take the reins, because obviously these are your slides. So
yeah, here, as we mentioned with Scott McTominay, we mentioned it earlier when Leeds were pressing Lindelof. So McTominay is receiving it in that right central midfield position, and he plays a nice pass into Paul Pogba. Again, you can see Pogba, he's not hogging the touchline, he's drifted in, and then again you can see Fernandes making that run beyond the striker, and Pogba plays it first time ball, as you can see in the second image, and then Fernandes finishes it excellently. Even there's a lot of talk that you see on Twitter that you'd hear like Paul Pogba shouldn't be shoehorned onto the left-hand side. I think it's nonsense. Pogba in that left-hand side position, it's similar to the position he's playing in Juventus. Obviously, at Juventus, he was playing left over midfield 3. He's playing left over forward 3, but because he's drifting in and Shaw's on the outside, he's pretty much picking up that left-hand channel position. And in that position, Pogba's so dangerous. We saw against Roma end of last season. We saw against Tottenham end of last season. He was playing that position, and he's causing so much havoc. His defensive responsibilities are less as well, because he's got Fred behind him, and we know Fred's really good at pressing, and Fred's good at covering. And even if you see with Shaw knows sometimes where to advance beyond Pogba to give an outlet, or he knows where to stay and knows that he's wary of the opposition. So he's got to make those judgment calls himself within the game. But yeah, I feel Pogba in that position is very, very useful. And obviously, it can be utilised in midfield against certain other oppositions. Maybe playing Burnley at home, you could play more as a 2 number 8s. But I feel for now, with Rashford injured as well, I feel he'll cause a lot of havoc in that position. Plus, we live in a modern day where it's like a footballer can't have a good game without scoring or assisting. Pogba has so many good games last season where he was like almost carrying United through those games. Those Burnley away, those Fulhams. Of course, he scored in those games, but he was playing in central midfield position really well. But because Pogba will gain confidence that he's getting numbers as well, and the fans will get off his back. I feel once Pogba's in that form, in that confidence, and he's arriving late in the box and so on, I think he'll become very dominant. Even like some of the stats I got from Roma last year, where he was playing on the left and against Spurs, he got 1 goal, 1 key pass against Roma. Against Spurs, he got 1 assist. He completed 6 out of 7 dribbles, and he got 2 key passes against Tottenham. So you can see he's contributing not both in performance but in numbers as well. So I feel for now it's very useful playing Pogba in that position.
Wax, can I ask you? Do you feel Pogba on the left will hinder Luke Shaw in any way offensively, just because of the relationship that he had with Marcus Rashford last season? Do you feel it would affect Luke Shaw in any way, or it won't matter at all?
I think the relationship Shaw and Rashford have got is good, but I also believe Shaw and Pogba could build a relationship. If you can just see that in like in that second image, the whole left hand side is free. The whole channel is free, and that's where Shaw can provide an overlap. But obviously, you can see Shaw's not advances too much because Rafinha's on his outside, so that's good decision making from Shaw. It's just making in-game decisions. We talk about all the in-game management, Danny, don't we?
Yeah,
players have got to make in-game decisions.
Facts.
Facts.
That's a fact, yeah.
That's great. I think a player makes over 300 actions in a game, defensive or offensive, depending on where they play. And you've got these people that think the manager's responsible for the outcome of all of those decisions. So didn't we have this yesterday in the Space, Indiana? I think we did. Where somebody said, someone said a manager is responsible for individual players' consistency.
That's right.
Oh no, you're
And
not
it's just
serious.
like, what are you talking about?
It's not championship manager. It's not football manager.
Exactly. But yeah, this is good stuff here. Like, I just wanted to add to that. In terms of Shaw, to Indiana's question, he can just be more efficient, pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right, now's the time to go. Other times, let Pogba do his thing. It's fine.
Exactly.
And he did that. He had one moment where he actually penetrated, and he should have squared it to Pogba actually, but he shot. But
yeah, he shot. Yeah, exactly that.
But he can be efficient in that position, and this actually makes us. You put Varane in there, and because Pogba's destroying teams and got the left to himself, we're better defensively actually. I haven't got a slide for Rachel, but this is where. So when Leeds got in behind us, if you notice, we were never outnumbered, and this is why because Shaw was always there. If Shaw was up there, there's one occasion where Shaw actually tried to press, got caught out, and then it was on a free situation. But when Shaw's in there, Leeds would break through, but they'd have like three players versus 4 of ours, and Fred running somebody down.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I've got an image of that. Actually. Let's see if I can try and find it after.
And this combination, I don't know if you noticed it, Bruno and Pogba were trying to do this last season as well, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we spoke about this with the Tottenham game especially.
Yeah, Tottenham Roma game. One at Old Trafford, one away at whatever their stadium's called now, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Lindelof again.
Oh, Lindelof was just ridiculous in this game.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah, that pass is pretty much a self-explanatory. He's basically found the channel and he's found Fernandes again. What we mentioned is he's running beyond the striker. You can see him Greenwood in the second picture in the middle. He's dropped off, hasn't he? And now Fernandes is running beyond the striker and he's scoring. And I think even with Greenwood, I think his link-up play is very good. How he just receives it. I agree with the point that he can't back in the striker too much because I remember, I think it was mid-second half, he backed in and then the striker was a bit too strong for him. But as long as he's taking a touch, getting out his feet and just laying it off or just dropping off, picking up spaces, I think he's excellent at that. And I feel he's a tidy footballer in my opinion, Greenwood. So I
most
think
players this high either have that control of centre backs, usually have a low centre of gravity. He doesn't have that. So that's why he can't get away with it. Like Aguero's thighs as well, like the size of bloody, like 2 people.
Yeah.
And not built that way.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The thing is, I analysed this and I missed it. This is why I love collabing with people. I missed the interchange between Bruno and Greenwood here when I was looking at this. I just looked at the Lindelof pass and missed that part completely.
I saw it quite often in the game where the Greenwood would drop off in spaces and then Fernandes was running beyond all day long. And it's the right thing because sometimes that central area can get clogged up. If Pogba's going centrally, Greenwood's dropping off, which he likes to do. If Fernandes stays there, then it's easy to defend because everything's in front of you as a defense. If you've got runners in behind, the defender doesn't know whether to come out with Greenwood or to stay, and it's leaving spaces. It's just little details like that.
And that's fact. That's when Bruno gets it. Go ahead again, sorry.
The way this front four move, especially with Greenwood dropping in like that, you've got to ask questions to the defenders. You've got to make them make a decision.
Yeah,
they have to make a decision. And if you've got Fernandes running in, Bruno dropping deep, and Bruno running in, Greenwood dropping deep, and then behind them you got Pogba.
Yeah.
And then
that's too many decisions to make.
Was, I wish you put one more circle on this because that's a 4-2-3-1. So Greenwood is now the 10 in the 3 behind the 1.
Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah,
and Daniel James is here. Yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree.
You guys noticed as well, our front line, they play closer together now.
Yeah.
Like the first half against Tottenham when we beat them, whatever, I think it was 5-2, we beat them or 4-2, whatever it was. The space and the distance, and we played that a lot last season, whereas this game, we're closer to each other.
Yeah, I think Eric Ramsey, the United's new set-piece coach, I was watching one of his YouTube videos. He was talking about contracting and expanding. So sometimes the midfielder's got to hold it, and then you can find spaces out wide. Sometimes you've got to hold it out wide to find spaces in the middle. And I think maybe he's trying to get that into Ollie and getting into the training sessions.
I think maybe because what I saw against Leeds, we did this against Spurs in the second half, and I wonder if there's a group they've picked up on that and they're like, we need to do this more. Because there was a lot of times where Bruno, Pogba, and our double pivot McFred, there was a box, and then the box would change. So Greenwood would go, Bruno would go, Greenwood would come. It's pretty impressive, actually. I'm interested to see if we're going to be consistent with this or if Ollie's going to continue to adapt this tactic to the opposition. I'd rather impose this on teams moving forward, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we're at that stage.
All right.
Rachel, just before you go, sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to big up Brian in the chat. Prime's in here. Mystic Wolf.
Oh, big up.
Arviz, Valve.
No comments.
Make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Whether you follow on Twitch, you're watching on Facebook, wherever it is, come over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Get in the Discord. Get in the description. Make sure you follow Was and Danny. Myself and Rachel are all in there. And leave us a comment if you're watching this on the playback. Please do that.
I see Prime's around. Indiana, did you hear about Prime's arm wrestling at the Terrace Link Cup?
No, I didn't. But
I'll tell you what.
Tell me after though, definitely.
Prime's breaking arms, mate. He's breaking arms. So Mason Greenwood, this is what I'm talking about, this hold up. We're going to keep this simple. I'm not going to get into crazy details with this. Very, very simple. Drops deep. You can see the defenders on him, right? And if you go to the next slide, Rachel, I mean, the ball's already gone. But what I like about it is just one touch. Oh, you cut out the wrong one.
Yeah, I did. Okay, hold on a second.
No, that's cool.
Hold on a second. That one should be... I did cut out the wrong one, actually.
I wouldn't stress. This ball goes to Fred. Fred doesn't gather it, but this is what I'm talking about. Mason Greenwood, when he plays with one touch, 1 and 2 touch, he's really, really efficient up front. We can go to the next one. It's fine, Rachel.
And even if you look at that, you see how free Shaw was on that left-hand channel because Pogba drifted in.
Yeah.
Look at Pogba inside and look at this space Shaw's got. It's because it's all one touch, Danny. That's what you can play it. And
you can see McTominay's in behind that midfielder by marking him again.
Yeah, again.
This is what you already showed this, Rachel. I put different graphics to this. Go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Again, this is just another example. Player on Mason Greenwood, he's got rid of it in one touch.
Yeah.
It goes wayward, but I don't care about that. It's the fact that he knows it's 1 and 2 touches what I'm done for. If you go to the next one, if you watch him here, right, he's peeled off their back four. Their back four is passive. I don't know why. Imagine giving Greenwood. Look at the space Pogba's got as well. It's shocking from these. But that's not.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not just Green. Like we've got 5 players here, right? Yeah. I know Mctominay's in between these two, but this is AWB, isn't it? Like he's got space to run into. He can even run into the half space here. This is really poor from Leeds. Why are their centre backs so close together?
Yeah, they're disjointed. And another thing we didn't mention, we were overloading a lot, which is rare for us. So Greenwood picks up the ball here. Go to the next slide.
This is the passing Daniel James
again. Couple touches. And he gets Dan James in. He's not messing around. He's not hogging the ball. He's playing quick. If you go to the next one, I love this here. So he makes one run, and then when he ends up in the position at the end of the first arrow, he's going to curve. He's going to come back basically to that spot that I've marked out.
Yeah.
If you go to the next slide, and during the game, I missed this, by the way. I didn't appreciate what happened here. McTominay is going to spray that ball into it. So Greenwood's going to dart into that space. If you go to the next one, McTominay is going to play that ball to him.
Yeah.
And again, he takes a gather touch, one more touch, and then if you go to the next slide,
he plays the reverse.
He plays it in.
Yeah.
He's not overdoing things.
Yeah.
Not trying to spin, because Martial, I'm not going to get Martial too much. We'll try and spin on someone, and then he's trying to dribble. I like this, where it's just 2 touch, get a man in. I think that might be the last one. If you go to I think that might be the last one. Yeah, this is how Fred gets his goal. So Greenwood played a really, I missed out during the game. He played a really, really big role in that goal. That's probably the best goal he scored, actually.
Yeah, team goal, I
think that's the last slide because we cut a few out. Oh, no, I've got more. Okay.
We've got more. Don't worry. So, go on, Danny, now.
That entire arrow, that's where Greenwood came from. I wish we included the other bit. Basically, he's dragged this player from where that arrow starts all the way to the halfway line. And again, same thing. If you go to the next slide. All game long, he was doing this, one touch. He's not playing around.
And it's that space when he drags that defender in, it's that space he leaves, and that's the space where McTominay attacks or Fernandes attacks.
Yeah, but I just appreciate it. I thought it was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it was class.
That's what Man United striker should be doing, in my opinion. And then of course,
Yeah.
look at the space that Fred's got. Look at the 2 versus 1 we've got on the right hand side. That's Dan James and Wan-Bissaka, I believe. Bruno again is a striker. So to what Was pointed out earlier, if Mason Greenwood comes short, Bruno's going in behind.
Yeah.
And look where Paul Pogba is as well. Paul Pogba's in central midfield basically.
Yeah.
So we were quite compact as a team, defensively and offensively. It was impressive performance tactically overall. But yeah, I just wanted to show Greenwood some love because I thought that's the maturity I want to see from him. Because last season I saw him holding the ball too much. I'm like, you can't hold people off, mate. Just pop it off. And immediately, first game I see him doing that. I think this is something we're going to see for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. It's going to be a big, big season for him. This is going to be his breakthrough season.
Yeah, no.
He had a summer off as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Which is blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah.
I think Indiana's always said it. Indiana never wanted him anywhere near England. Even last season, Indiana's like, keep him away from that national team.
Oh, no. Even, you know, when all that stuff happened with Foden,
Yeah.
I was saying to
Not right.
KJ, like, I don't want him to be called up. Something's going to happen. Like, the pressure he's going to have on him. I hate it. I hate the whole England thing. But he's going to come good this season. He will come good this season.
I'll be back in a second. I just need to do something very, very quickly.
Yeah, no worries. Big up Ryan in the chat as well. Big up Mystic Wolf. Big up Velve. They're fighting in the chat. Play fighting, not real fighting, people. Bryant says United can find a lot of success against low blocks with the flexibility of a front four with Greenwood as a lone striker. Well, this is what we're going to be seeing in the next few weeks, right? Because I don't think many teams are going to approach games the way Leeds did. I think they're not going to give us that much space. So
You've got to remember as well the addition of Sancho as well, because his ability to beat players, to beat a low block, it's not just about moving them, passing it side to side and trying to get the ball through. Sometimes you just got to beat your man directly, and that opens up space. And with Sancho's ability to beat men one-on-one, that you'll have space and you'll create. And Sancho I don't know the exact stat. I think he had, the most touches in the penalty box in terms of stopping the ball and looking for his teammate. His composure is unbelievable, and you'll see this season how Haaland misses him. I think he contributed about 70% of Haaland's goals last season.
Yeah. But, Wes, just a quick question. When we face a low block, would you expect Greenwood to be starting in those games? Or would you expect to see more of a Cavani?
Yeah, it's interesting because you could even possibly play Greenwood on the right. You could play Sancho on the left. That's the mean. We've got so many options, even with Cavani, because his movement's so good that if we do create with the Sancho, for example, Cavani and Sancho, that something could brew there. Because Sancho, he's the creator, whereas like Greenwood out wide and Rashford out wide, they're more direct and they're going for the goal, like a Nani sort of player.
Yeah.
Whereas Sancho and Pogba, they're looking to find their teammate. And with Sancho and Cavani, the runs Cavani makes, and with, for example, if you had Pogba on the left, Sancho on the right, they'll find him basically.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to get up the slides of Jadon Sancho and what he would bring, because he's unbelievable. His delivery is unreal. And you were right about him slowing the game down and waiting for his teammates. I've got so many slides of him doing that, where he literally draws like 3 or 4 players towards him, and then he stops the ball, and players literally run past him.
Yeah.
And he just opens up so much space, and he always finds the right pass as well. He's very intelligent. He knows, like, he makes the right decisions for Jadon Sancho. So I'm really excited to see how he does in this front four. I think he's going to be brilliant.
Did you know in his cameo? Sorry, Indiana, in his cameo, that one ball he tried to play. You notice how calm he was when those 2 players came towards him.
The one into Bissaka, I think it was.
Yeah, it was in Bissaka.
So I said, who did he try to play? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was.
But it just struck me like he's got these 2 players coming towards him, and he's still calm enough to know what ball to pass. Like he's unreal, unreal in the final third. Sorry, Indiana, go on, man.
I was just saying, I think in the next couple of weeks we should probably do a breakdown on Sancho, like what he was doing at Dortmund, how he can affect this team, what we expect of him this season. I think that's probably a whole stream, right?
Yeah.
I've already got slides on him, so if you guys want to, send them to me, we can do that as well, because I'm
How far do you go, Indiana? I have an entire PDF report on him, meaning I can tell you how many times from the right hand side he dribbled and he shot. I can tell you that information to that detail.
That's really good.
I've got no doubt you've got a handwritten filing cabinet full of folders just on Sancho. Danny, for anyone who doesn't know, Danny rents a warehouse in Luton where it's just full of filing cabinets on player profiles and tactics.
You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Big up Will as well. Will says Greenwood on Saturday, superb player. Sancho will be a top player for United. Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all agree that Sancho has got a bright future here. Absolutely. Quickly going to go through the goals.
Sorry, go on.
No, what were you saying, Danny?
I was just saying, to what he's pointing, it's one of the reasons why we're dark horses this season. The attacking talent we've got is...
Yeah.
People should be more confident than they are. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think people are underestimating United in terms of... Because last year we got a lot of results. We didn't play particularly great in certain games, but we got a lot of results. Now we've strengthened our defense and we've made our forward line stronger.
Yeah,
you just got to figure it out. We're gonna be there. I like it when they don't rate us, because then we'll just slide from the back.
Exactly.
I'm taking it one game at a time, to be honest with you. But you can see the potential of the players. Let's just see how we go. Will said, can you send Greenwood our way?
Never.
No, we're not sending Greenwood away. Werner and Cho are your level.
He doesn't suit him. Remember, he's murder mace. He has to wear red, mate. He can't wear blue.
Yeah, murder mace.
We're naming him now, Murder Mace. I like it.
He's the original murder mace. There's only one.
The original,
There's only two. There's only two. The original and Greenwood. No one else.
No, that's fair enough. I quickly want to speak about this with the first goal, right? So usually when we press, we usually press in a 4-4-1-1, and it usually involves Bruno Fernandes. What are we looking at?
I'm trying to look at the shape. That's quite interesting. Sorry.
It was like a diamond too.
Yeah, it looks like a diamond with somebody in the yeah.
I think that's Fernandes in that number 10 position. I think it was Fernandes when I watched it.
Yeah, so this is kind of a trap. So basically, Daniel James started off pressing the centre backs, and what he did was he forced the centre backs to actually be quite close together. And when it forced them to go long, and they played the ball out long here, but there was a turnover of possession, right? And then Mctominay picks up the ball and he plays it into Paul Pogba. But what happened was, because the centre backs were so close together, when the ball was played in, they were too close and they left way too much space. So we're going to go for it from this angle. McTominay picks up the ball after the turnover possession, and Paul Pogba's there.
Bruno, can you go back? Can you go back? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Bruno's over here.
He's already on his bike. Don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
He's already on his bike.
Yeah. This is a trap. Yeah, this was planned, because Daniel James did this. He starts off pressing with Greenwood, and then he runs back into his position so that he doesn't, keep this guy. I can't remember who it was, but he doesn't keep the left back on his own. It's a trap.
Yeah,
it was brilliant, and we did it quite a few times in this game. And I know a lot of people gave Daniel James a lot of stick, but his off the ball work, his pressing, his movement, he does add a lot to the front four. Obviously, on the ball, he could do a lot better. But
he can mark two players. That's the difference. He can mark two players, which gives you a tactical advantage.
Because he can get.
That's exactly what he did. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to sort of bring that to light for the goal, because he played a massive part in this goal, even though he didn't actually touch the ball. Him and Greenwood actually pressed together, and it was really good. And obviously McTominay plays the ball in. This ball from Paul Pogba is absolutely ridiculous.
It is
and
next level.
Unbelievable. And Bruno takes it down quite well. I know the finish wasn't, a perfect finish. It was good. Bruno Fernandes finishes at our club. And I thought this goal was brilliant. But I was really happy with what Daniel James did, and I think because we saw it, some of us saw it consistently throughout the game, I just thought that Daniel James needed a bit more credit than what he was actually given. I kind of felt sorry for him because people were cussing him. That's the wrong thing to call there. But yeah, people were cussing him throughout the game, and it was just a little bit unfair. So I thought I'd give a bit of Daniel James.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit too harsh. Sometimes it's understandable, because he was just straight offside a few times. When you can see the full defense, you can't stray offside. You just drop in, and it's not like James hasn't got the pace to drive in that space anyway. So he should be running across. As a forward, you're meant to run along the line and then go in. If you run diagonally straight away, you're gonna go offside, especially with VAR now as well.
Mate, spot on. Something people don't realize about Rashford. The reason why Rashford, the Brighton goal is the best example. he will run in a straight line first. He understands when to come inside. But there's a reason why more time he runs straight, because he's so quick, he's going to create distance. Meaning when he cuts across, there's no physical battle, because he created distance for himself. Whereas Greenwood, with James, every opportunity cutting. He's always making diagonal runs at every opportunity, which is, it's poor from him. But off the ball, amazing player, honestly.
The problem is, Danny, is that people don't watch players off the ball. They only analyse players when they've got the ball at their feet.
People follow the ball.
Exactly. They follow the ball. And also with Dan James, they say he's a bad player because they want him to be prime Martial. You know when Martial's running at a player and his feet are outstanding.
Yeah.
They don't like Dan James because he's not that player. That's the problem. There's more to the game than the ball at your feet. A lot more to the game.
Yeah, but there's also more to the game than being a baller, right? Like there's these overly techie footballers. Like we've always speaking about this. Like you can't just have technically gifted players. Sometimes you need players that are effective. And sometimes Daniel James is very effective. When he's asked to do something, he will do it like to the letter. He will literally do everything the manager says. Kind of like Mctominay. If you ask him to do a job, he will do it. And some of our players don't do that. It's a problem that we've had for a while. So having those effective players combined with the saucy ballers, you end up having a very effective team overall.
If we want eye test ballers, we might as well have Adel-Tarabt left midfield. We might as well Ravel Morrison number 10, or we might as well have Ben Arthur right wing.
Yeah. just go sign Eze.
And Eze.
Gucci Man. Zaha. Just go get them.
Yeah, we'll bin Fernandez on his 40 goal contributions. What is that mean?
Just get rid of it. Put him in the 8 position, guys. Drop him into the 10 position.
Play him right back. I remember I watched some stream that said put him right back for real, but I wasn't in the stream.
No way. Oh, it's embarrassing at this point.
Imagine not liking this guy. I can't understand it. Indiana, what do we do with these people?
You know what? I'm going to add that video to the actual StreamYard so we can play it. That's what I think we're going to have to do.
I have to ask you guys individually, what's better, the first assist to Bruno or this one?
I like this pass a lot. I like this pass because I think one, because it's deeper, and two, the ball is just perfect. Like it's a perfect ball. Taken like in the moment, I think in the moment the first one was better. Like when you're watching the game, but when you watch it back, you appreciate this pass more, I think. Yeah,
I agree, because it's from a deeper position. Plus, if you remember for that first goal, when Pogba does like flick it around the corner, it's great control from Fernandez. He brings it down on his toes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most players are not doing that.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was going to go with the first assist, but you've convinced me, Wax. This one's better.
Yeah, do you know what I liked about this one? Like, you can't really see it here because he looks like he's in line, but he's actually slightly behind. But when Paul Pogba plays it, it curls into Greenwood. It literally curls towards him. That's why I like this pass.
You missed his run. He started here. He started in the same patch where the ball is, and he's made a curved run into that. He spins off. It's an amazing. Yeah. Basically, that space you see, he created that with his run.
Yeah. Because he saw who was on the ball though. He saw Pogba on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And can we just talk about Greenwood's finishing, because
unreal finish.
I think he's probably the best finisher in the league. Indiana said it before, and I was really thinking about this. Who's actually better in terms of how clinical they are in these situations? Greenwood's an unbelievable finisher.
Yeah,
unbelievable. This is actually a lot more difficult than people give it credit for. How many times have we seen players in this position and it will just go wide? Are they just
or over the bar?
The pace on the ball weren't crazy either. That's the thing. It was a decent amount of pace, but he weren't smashed.
Danny, I keep saying it. He is the closest thing I have seen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when it comes to finishing.
I'd say he's in between Solskjaer and Van Nistelrooy.
Say that again, sorry.
He's in between Solskjaer and Van Nistelrooy. They're the best two finishers I've seen at Man United. Point blank, those two.
Van Persie was unreal as well. Oh.
Obviously Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's like, he's weird to assess in terms of strikers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because is it because he creates so many chances for himself, or is he a better finisher than those guys? I don't think, like, to my eyes, Ronaldo's not a better finisher than Van Nistelrooy, but the stats tell me otherwise, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I think Van Nistelrooy was a better finisher,
So do
in
I.
my opinion. But
What then, Ronaldo or?
Yeah.
Ronaldo just puts himself in more situations,
yes,
and he's got more to his game as well, more ways to score goals.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point as well, actually.
Brilliant finish though. It goes into the side netting, like beautiful finish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's nuts.
he could have somewhat squared it as well into the path of Dan James. You can see Dan James clearly free.
Dan James might have missed it.
No, Daniel
mean,
Daniel James is a decent little finisher, to be fair.
He could
But
have
like,
missed
It would
it.
have been a tap
A
in.
bad touch, who knows?
yeah, it would have been a tap in. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is what I love about Greenwood. He scored a couple of goals from this exact sort of position, and he puts them away so easily. I think it was against Leipzig when Paul Pogba played
Yes.
him in exact same position.
Leipzig, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
First
it
goal.
was in the it was the first goal. 5-0.
First goal.
Do you remember the
Icon.
Liverpool one? I think it was in the FA Cup where Rashford switches it from like a left wing position into Greenwood, who was on the right hand side. I think it bounced over Jay Milner's head, and then he finished it with his right foot. I think there was a picture of Milner or Robertson. They're trying to scream and put him off, and he just played.
Yeah, it was Andy Robertson. I remember that was
That's
funny.
hilarious. I missed that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed out. That was such a good game.
I never
When
think
we
he
lost the FA Cup one when we beat them.
When we beat them.
Oh, okay.
It
Oh, that's
was the 3-2 when Bruno scored the free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see the
Basic.
3-2 last and I didn't go back to that game. It's like, forget about that. We lost to Liverpool. I'm not watching that.
basically,
No, fair
like you can keep Lukaku. That's
You-
what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
can keep Lukaku.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Yeah, this was the Bruno goal, another Pogba assist. I liked what Bruno did here. I actually, for some reason, I haven't added the bloody image where he turns and like he slows it down and then he plays it in. Like he didn't just go straight for the shot. He literally turned and then came back inside and then shot. But again, Paul Pogba playing very central as well. Fred McTominay supporting, Daniel James providing the width here, and then Greenwood's obviously inside as well. And as Wes pointed out before, Luke Shaw had the whole of the left side to himself, basically. But I really like this goal as well. I know the finish wasn't as pretty because it was basically sort of attempted to be saved off the line, but I really liked how Bruno took his chance here.
Yeah. Away from the goals, I thought that was Fernandes one of his best games. Do you know when we talked about Greenwood laying it off first time? Fernandes was doing it quite often, and it was just speeding up attacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it the efficient Bruno we saw last season who wasn't scoring goals merged with the Bruno that we saw scoring goals? The Bruno that I said we'll see. I think it is that. The way people doubt this guy, like players get better and mature. Like Pogba's matured. I anticipate Pogba having a more consistent season because he's a certain age now. He's had certain experiences. Same with Bruno. People missed that. He had after around February, March, he had a period where he was efficient on the ball, but creativity and goals dried up. Put the two together, you get this Bruno.
Yeah.
Again,
And arrested Bruno as well, let's point out, because at that point as well, he was also extremely tired. He played a lot of football at that point. He's rested now. He just looks like he's ready to kill everything. Basically.
Yeah. No, 100%. And again, you can keep £100 million Jack Grealish. I'm serious, man. I'm not taking Jack Grealish over Bruno.
But just remember, because 4 assists are expected though. £100 million player is what you expect for assists.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
Never forget.
Yeah. Jack Grealish is already a flop. Is that what you're saying? I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is basically going over what Danny put out for the Greenwood role in this. Literally the same slide. So we don't need to go over it again. But obviously, I thought this was a really tidy finish from Fred, by the way. This wasn't wild at all. This was very controlled. So, props to Fred, actually. This is a good finish. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think he was trying to pass it to the back post.
Same. Can I just say as well?
You're right. You're right.
This isn't to shit on Rashford because I love Rashi, but in this situation, he stops the ball and lines a man up. I'm telling you, he doesn't play that pass.
There's also another option because you see where Pogba's running onto the ball here. Rashford might actually just run towards the inside.
To be fair,
try and go for the 1v1. To be fair to him, and he probably would have the pace to go and beat it. But no, I agree. He wouldn't have made the same sort of decision that Pogba made.
Can I just say about
we could merge him and Rashford and Pogba together?
Yeah, that's the best way in the world.
Rashford.
Basically Messi kind of someone who can
Yeah,
regards to
Dupo.
people score
Yeah.
and the
He's
best number.
overrated.
You know, Messi is like the best number 10 that's ever lived as well, right? Like, Messi, the best playmaker we've ever seen as well. That's why he's the best, not the greatest football player, the best football player we've ever seen.
He can play number 8. He could play DM if he wanted to. Messi.
Probably. But the GOAT is Ronaldo. Messi's the best player I've seen. Ronaldo's the GOAT. Distinctions.
We won't get into that, but yeah.
You
But you know the other thing about Fred's goal, and for me, Fred, he's always very rash when he shoots. He lashes at it. He shoots when he shouldn't. He passes when he should shoot. And Fred, that whole game, it's been a long time since I've seen Fred play a game of football where he was calm and composed. And that finish summed it up for me, really. It's not the best goal you're ever going to see, but from him, the run into the box and the finish was what I've been wanting to see from Fred since we signed him.
Yeah.
It's because the pace is already on the ball, so he just has to guide it. He doesn't really need to attack it too much. And that's what he did well in that finish.
No, but Wes, the thing is, if I hadn't seen that goal and you told me the ball's going into Fred there and I had to guess whether it went in or not, I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not taking the piss out of him, but it's just the way he's been playing. Everything's been a bit rash with him.
Yeah.
You never know what you're getting, and I was really impressed with Fred the whole game.
That's fair enough. Last little segment, actually, guys. It's going to be Lindelof. I thought his performance was superb, and I was on a stream yesterday where people just refused to give him credit for the performance that he put in, and they would say, Leeds were that bad and blah blah blah. But I thought Lindelof, like even the quality of his balls over the top and that, they were brilliant. And defensively, he made 2 very good interceptions that I put in here.
Yeah.
Even aerially, there's a couple of aerial duels that he won, which you don't really associate with Lindelof. Usually he's quite weak in the air, but he was actually very good. So gonna quickly sort of go through it. So this one's he's made a run in to this sort of area, and he continues to make his run. So I thought he was really brave on the ball. Like, he's not usually like that, Lindelof. You don't see it often. And he kept making the movements forward to try and progress the play.
Can I add to that very quickly, just to emphasize the point? Lindelof normally wouldn't. So if you look at the centre circle, the dark green patch, he drove from that position. He normally plays it safe. For him to do that, that's rare. That's why his performance was so good. He was so aggressive. So I just wanted to add to your point because.
No, I agree. I was gonna elaborate on here. So he actually runs into this area here. There's 4 players that are basically going to surround him. He doesn't care. He literally runs in there and plays it off. And I was like, this isn't something we usually see from Lindelof. He was just ready to do it. I just really like that he literally ran into an area where 4 players are surrounding him and he just didn't care. I really like that he did that because we don't see it often enough. We usually see Maguire doing that. Maguire didn't do that as often. Maguire was good in the game because he just went about his business, Maguire, and it was like Lindelof just doing what you'd normally expect from Maguire. So the fact that we've got 2 centre backs that are going to be doing it, it's quite good. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys thought of Lindelof's performance, but I thought he was superb, to be honest with you.
Go ahead, Bas.
Very good. I remember, I think it was 2. I don't know whether it was 2 crosses or passes across like our 6-yard line or just in that channel. Yeah. And he'd get in front of the defender. So he's in front of Bamford here. I think it was in the FA Cup, I think semi-final against Chelsea a year or 2 ago, where Giroud runs beyond him and flicks it.
Yeah.
Typical Giroud. And then sometimes that can happen to Lindelof. He just gets beaten on that first run. But he was very aware of that first run and he got there in time. And obviously he saves a goal and goals change games. So it was important.
Yeah.
Lindelof is... when he's aggressive, because he's got no positional issues for me, no reading of the game issues, concentration, he's a good decision maker. The problem is he's aware of his physical weaknesses, so he picks his battles, and that's what I don't like. But when he's not picking battles and he's like, I'm confronting everything, and he's aggressive, he's a top player when he does that. Honestly,
yes.
And I think he can play DM as well. Can I just set up the first person to say this? I think he can play DM better than most people think he could.
Do you think?
He's such an intelligent player. Because Carrick he wasn't a physical DM. He just got there first, or he contained an attack. So Carrick would position himself. If he can't tackle, he hold you off. If you want to play the ball to his right, He basically the same way a fullback should show a striker, sorry, a winger down the right, down to the touchline. Carrick would do that in midfield. You want to play it to the right of me? I'm moving my body here. You play the ball here. That's how my practice. So I think Lindelof could do the same thing, but yeah, I'm digressing as usual.
I'm not overly convinced. I'm not.
I think
I'd
we just need to see it. We need to see it in it, like a little experiment. If we have like,
if you like to Sweden, just saying that's where I got the thought from, really. But
yeah, I've not really seen it. Do you right?
But a lot of people have asked about Lindelof being a DM. I'm not too sure, but I want to see him. I would like to see him play there. I don't mind us seeing it and seeing how he goes with it.
Yeah,
But
see how it goes.
yeah, I mean, we don't have a DM. I don't think we're getting one. So if Lindelof goes into that position, that'd be pretty interesting, and it will make me start crying at night. So
Can we just talk about Scott McTominay in terms of box to box? Because for me, I thought he was outstanding. Like
it was.
Not only his runs forward, but I think he cleared the ball. Was it three or four times? I don't have the stats, but
yeah.
he was
did he lose a
outstanding
battle?
defensively.
Sorry, what was that?
Did he lose any battles? I think he won every duel he was in.
Yeah, I've not really checked, but in terms of this game, I didn't even focus on the stats. I was just watching it and seeing what I see. And I remember even in like corner kicks, he was heading it away in the 6-yard box. It was everywhere first half, and it's not just his athleticism, as in like that number 8 position where he could go box to box. It was his ability on the ball. I think don't know where he is now in that picture, but when we were attacking towards the right, he got out. He was in a little situation 2v1. I think there's like a little clip on Twitter, like McTominay press resistant, and he dragged
the ball a little bit, opened his body up. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He's always been quite good at that. To be fair, we've seen that a few times from him.
I think he's improved as well.
Okay, he won basically 80% of his duels, ground duels anyway. But I've spoken about his technical improvement. I don't know. It's clear he's improved technically a lot. From the beginning, from the 2019 season to now, he's gone up at least a level and a half technically.
But remember, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't improve players.
He doesn't. He was maybe a 15 before. Now he's 16 technically, and it's got the green arrow. It's got the green arrow on it.
Yeah, that's it.
One of those.
McTominay's not improved under Ole. No chance. 2 goals against Leeds. His highest ever goal scoring season. He's definitely not improved.
What's the deeper than that? Ole doesn't play attacking football. Ole doesn't play attacking football.
I saw that.
And somehow McTominay scored 7 goals. He's the best. He's the best 6 in the world if he did that. 7 goals was a 6 under a negative manager. World class.
No, do you know what the big thing is for me? That a lot of the people who say this are big sort of Martial FC, and for me, the way Ole has improved Martial, not only in terms of his goal scoring, like he had the best goal scoring season under Ole, but his hold up play and his link play is massively improved for me up top. Martial under Ole, it's just madness. It's crazy. Agendas.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, he always had it in the end, and Ole didn't improve anything. We can all agree with real money Mace. Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
He's money and murder Mace. Like, there's no chance for the other guy.
Facts.
Big up Jerry, man. 7 goals, more than Thiago this season. Love Jerry.
Prefer not to speak.
Z said, I think he's talking about Lindelof. He's saying that Lindelof used to play there in the DM.
He did.
Big up RDS.
Love that. Oh, JB's in the chat as well. Big up JB. Obviously Mustafa as well. A lot of you in here. Jerry says, Indiana, let Martial FC die. He needs to be sold simple. He ain't it.
Those
Jerry used to be his biggest fan as well, man.
What people forget about footballers is that where you see them now is not where they initially started up as players.
Yes.
That's what people forget. So normally, like, even Jamie Carragher, believe it or not, started as a striker. McTominay started as a striker. There's a lot of players like they start.
Rio Ferdinand as well, actually.
Gary Neville, they moved him to right back. I think Ferdinand played DM or ahead. Who else was there?
Schweinsteiger
quite
was
a
a
few.
winger doing step overs in, I want to say the 2002 whatever tournament it was. He was doing step overs as a
I
winger.
think it was 06 or something.
Oh, 06, yeah. And somehow he's a midfielder. Somehow, crazy.
Didn't McTominay start off as a striker?
Yeah.
And then he got dropped deeper and deeper back, and now he's like he can play centre back for
I'll
Scotland.
give you a bigger one, actually. Do you remember Alan Smith from Leeds?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was he? He was a striker.
Striker, yeah.
So Alex Ferguson gets him 6 months. He's a DM in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They
I
played
know.
for Newcastle as
I
well.
forgot about that, you know. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
He was a striker. He banged in like crazy goals in his first 4 or 5 games.
Oh, it's a great striker.
Yeah.
Then he was a
He
DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember his goal? He scored the first goal against Roma when we won that 7-1.
Yeah.
That was finish was so good though.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, he was a really good finisher. Just plagued with
Yeah.
injuries, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Him and
absolutely.
Hargreaves, injury plagued.
Yeah.
Big up
Harvey's
Naj.
really good,
He
man.
says credit to Ollie for massively improving Greenwood too. He's the most blatant one for me. Made him well rounded. Yeah, he's improved. He's helped improve Greenwood a lot. I think he's been a big influence.
They've still got to get out of that one. They'll just say if we played more last season, we would have seen this Greenwood. There's always an out, Rachel. Now, is that Lindelof winning a header? That can't be true.
Yeah,
That's not-
it's Lindelof winning a header. Absolutely. The best one is this one. Hold on. Look at that in the box, clears the ball, literally makes the run up, and he just goes for it. I was really impressed with Lindelof. Everything that people say he's weak at,
He was good
he
at
did
it.
really well. Yeah, and I got just a few stats here. So he had the most successful pressures of all United players, 66%. Made 1 block, 3 interceptions, and 10 clearances. 84% pass completion, 1 assist, and 1 key pass. So he had overall an excellent game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for him, to be honest with you, because I like it when players that we sort of not play down, just sort of we don't think that maybe they're United quality or maybe we should move them on. I like it when they sort of put what they sort of prove us wrong a little bit. I like that. I want more of our players to be doing
With
that.
football fans, it's very polarized. It's either you're really good or you're dead. You're a dead baller like McTominay. There's no in between with these football fans. McTominay is a good player. Fred's a good player. They have specific abilities, specific like roles and responsibilities in that game. Pogba's not going to advance centrally if Fred's not playing. To get what I mean? And then even like Lindelof, he's a good footballer. It's common sense.
Do you know what's interesting in that game? Maguire was playing like a player who knows his position is secure, and Lindelof was playing like Varane going to take my spot soon.
Yeah.
That was the difference. But I think Lindelof is easily an elite third choice centre back. Like having him as a backup to even Varane and Maguire that's an amazing option.
I think that's what people are forgetting, especially rival fans. It's not actually just our depth up front, because that's for me, like, we've got the best in terms of depth when it comes to forwards.
Yeah.
But we've got 3 top centre backs. Like when you get, I know Tellers didn't have a great season, but he's not a terrible second choice. Should we need him for games to rest Luke Shaw? It's right back. Right back for me is the position that we really need to push on. And if we sign a Kieran Trippier, which I don't think is going to happen now, but if we did, we would definitely go up a level.
Hold on, have you changed your mind, Indiana?
No, I haven't changed my mind, because I know we're not getting a DM.
Okay, cool.
I know we're not getting a DM. So the other option is what? A right back.
Yeah.
Do you think that's likely, us getting a right back, or do you think the transfer window is done for us now?
Someone has to pay money for Pereira Lingard. It's not happening.
We got 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks left, and I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think any of you would be shocked, actually, if we did sign a player around deadline day.
No, that's fair enough.
The reason why I want Trippier, Rachel, I don't know if I've spoken to you about this. I always say people say we can't win anything without McFred. Just really, really think about this. Our McFred do not hinder our ability to attack down the left. Our attack down the left is strong. You get Trippier, we've got, for once, we actually have an equal attack down both sides, which we haven't had. McFred can just facilitate. That's what they have to do. Facilitate.
I don't think it's just that, Danny.
I don't think. Sorry, go on, Indiana.
I was just going to say, with Trippier, like, his delivery is very good.
Yeah.
His delivery is great. So players like Cavani will thrive off that. Also, set pieces. Like, I'm not convinced by any United player when it comes to set pieces taking free kicks. I'm not. As good as Pogba is, as good as Bruno is, over the course of the season, we haven't got We don't. I think, for instance, I think Trent's better. James
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse, obviously.
Well,
he's
Trent
quality.
is pretty special.
I think Reece James will be better than our
No.
free kick takers.
No.
I do. I actually think he is a good set piece taker. He was.
Wait, Reece,
good
as in
delivery.
Chelsea right back, Reece James.
Yeah, I think he's a good set piece taker. I think he will be. He's got
You're
that. He's
better than
definitely
Bruno.
got that ability. I think he will be. Watch in the next couple of seasons.
He's got good delivery. I know that.
Yeah, he will. I can see it.
No,
But
that's fair enough.
we do. When you think of Manchester United, when it comes to set pieces and free kicks, we're not back at that level yet.
No, we're not.
No.
We don't have a balanced attack down the right-hand side because Wan-Bissaka still isn't it, unfortunately. So if we get Trippier, I think that changes what we can achieve this season. I think he'll make that much of an impact, not because of an individual he's that great, but it's about completing teams,
Yeah.
about partnerships, balance. When we do those type of things,
That's what people forget. The output of the whole team beats the opposition. You get what I mean? When Liverpool had Wijnaldum, Henderson, and so on, it was the output of the full team and everyone working complementary with each other that beat the opposition. It's not just individuals here and there.
Yeah, that's right.
Why I said Varane to be a better signing than Sancho, kind of, because it completes the back four.
Yeah.
Right. So you want about Wan-Bissaka going forward defensively? I think we're solid. I think we're solid as it gets in 2021. I don't rate defenses in this era. So you get Trippier. Now you've got two different types of defenses. Now you've got two different types of back fours. You've got one with Wan-Bissaka that can handle the most talented players coming forward, and you've got Trippier who can basically, with his crosses, destroy the low block teams. And I think that'd be if we get a midfielder. Sorry, now if we get a midfielder, if it's the midfielder with Fred, we've still got Fred. If it's the midfielder with McTominay, we've still got McTominay. That position isn't complete yet. We'll need 3 years from now. We want two new players in that position, right?
No, of course we do. But I think a DM actually brings the best out of Fred and McTominay because it's like you said, right? I don't think Fred playing as a more deeper player suits him. He's so much better when he's pressing high, when he's box to box. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same with McTominay. We've seen the best of both of them when they're box to box. So playing I have no issues with us playing a DM with one of McFred and then having Bruno or Pogba or Donny or whoever who's going to be playing in there, as long as it's effective. So there's no issue with that. I just don't want players playing out of position and being forced to play a role they don't really enjoy playing or that they can play. And that's where I want to see that throughout the season. I want to see how they adapt, and I want to see the different combinations that Ollie might try. So, for example, looking ahead at Southampton quickly for the last sort of 10 minutes or so, what do you guys think? How do you think the game's going to go? Playing Southampton away, how do you think they'll approach it, and how do you think we'll approach it?
I don't think they play how they play. I look at tactically. So Southampton, they're weird in that when they press, their midfield and their attack are quite compact horizontally, right? If you're looking at the pitch that way. They're quite compact, but the distance between their midfield and their defense is quite big. That's why if you look at last season, the goals, we scored two identical goals, in 2009, 2020, 2021 season, where we played through them, exact goals twice. And it's because the distance between their midfield and their back four isn't great. I thought we had them on toast last season. I don't see why that changes this season. If they press like they usually do, I think we'll slice them open. If they sit back, I'm just confident. I'm just confident either way we'll beat them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like last season where what was it, 2-0 down at halftime or whatever it was?
Everyone 3-2.
It was 2-0, wasn't it? After we missed two big chances, Greenwood missed a big chance, and somebody else missed a big chance. I don't see that happening this season. I think we'll wrap this game up. Maybe.
Yeah, I predicted 3-0 on a stream yesterday, to be fair. I'm confident we'll win it. But Was, what do you think?
Has Vestergaard gone to Leicester now?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so Vestergaard is a huge loss. I think that's great value for money for Leicester. I think
Centre back.
Yeah.
That's
He's a good centre back. So underrated.
I tweeted it out. I think that's dark horse for signing of the season so far. I'm not even joking.
Well, like Højbjerg last season.
Yeah, Højbjerg last season.
He's a good Højbjerg.
The loss of Danny Ings. If you're a mid-table team or you're a lower relegation battling team, losing goals out your team is critical. Losing 15 goals from Danny Ings is critical, and it's sad because Southampton are one of they're the Premier League team. If someone told me, tell me a Premier team that's respectful and they're honest and they've got good recruitment, you say Southampton. But I don't know what they're doing this season, losing Ings and losing Vestergaard. So it is a bit disappointing. I feel we will win, and I feel I don't know about Sancho's fitness at the moment. The only difference or change I would make is Sancho for James, to be honest. And I'll keep with Fred and McTominay, but obviously allow McTominay to push on a bit, as in a 4-3-3, but just play play Sancho instead of James, but depending on fitness. I wouldn't make wholesale changes.
Does anyone think that he might bring on either Matic or Donny? Not replace both of them, because obviously I agree. I don't think he will replace McTominay and Fred. But do you think that maybe he might bring on Matic or Donny to play alongside one of them?
If he does, it'll have to be managed, right? McTominay doesn't deserve to be dropped after the last performance. But I believe in that. If you perform well in the last game, well, you play the next game. I believe in that. So it has to be Matic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good game for Matic, I think it'd be a great game for Matic. I can see that.
Did he play?
But then I'm not going to be shocked if it's McFred in the middle. I'm not going to be shocked at it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Where for me, where I need to see changes for Ollie is in game. So let's say Southampton, they sit right back. There's a low block. We've got Greenwood up top. Cavani's on the bench. The movement's not great. It goes stale. Whatever. I don't want to see Ollie wait until the 75th minute to bring Cavani on. Like, make those changes and gamble now.
He won't. So his average first substitution, according to Athletic, is 68 minutes. And I remember somebody said, I can't remember who wrote it, but they basically said that he has a philosophy that he got from Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson always deviated from it anyway, where basically substitutions are most effective in the last 20 minutes of the game. That's a fundamental belief that he has.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if he changes it. Managers are like remember Mourinho when he first came through? Half-time subs. No, 30-minute subs, half-time subs. Third sub by the 65th minute. Over time, he stopped doing that. He just stopped doing it because most managers just they don't believe the game is going to change that much if you make an early sub.
But wasn't it Southampton where he brought Cavani on at half-time?
I think he took off Greenwood and brought on Cavani.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
But that again, was going for his tough time, wasn't it?
Those, in my opinion, are anomalies. If he changes that, I'll be shocked. I'll be very, very surprised. I don't know what you think, Wes.
Say if we do go with a 4-3-3, for example, say we play Fred as a 6 and we play McTominay and Bruno as the 2-8s, Pogba left, Greenwood top, and we play either James or Sancho, hopefully Sancho, but obviously depends on fitness. Say if we're struggling a bit to break him down, it's just subtle changes. For example, you could take McTominay, then take McTominay off and play Donny, and then you just got that little more intricacy in midfield and a bit more where you can sustain pressure and you just a bit more like creativity. It's just one or two changes. I don't agree in this game you got to play McFred, this game you got to play Matty Donny, but how are they going to build consistency anyway? Their fitness is just going to go here and there. So if, for example, if we play City, then Liverpool, or so back-to-back McFred play. So how are Donny and Matic going to be even match fit for their opportunity? You can't make. It's not like you got to make one or two changes, not these split teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting though. What you just said there, that could be a prediction. If you see that happen on 68 minutes, if he takes off McTominay and brings on Van de Beek, that's a big change. We didn't see that last season, ever. We didn't, in a big moment at least. Anyway. You just never saw that. So I hope Wassa spoke that into existence actually. And we see Ollie bringing players like Van de Beek on often. Even if he doesn't start every game, just bring them on all the time. The also Alex Ferguson did have certain players. I remember Javier Hernandez said this. He said the reason when Alex Ferguson had his high rotation period from 2008 onwards, right? More than Rafa Benitez, he broke Rafa Benitez's record of 100+ games of rotation. And what Hernandez said was that we were happy because everybody knew they played 23 games minimum.
Yeah,
a handful of players, the world-class ones that play most of the games, but the rest of us were all getting 20+ games. So when they came in for 2 to 3 games. It was never one game and then they're back out. It was so Alex Ferguson was scheduled. Darren Fletcher is telling them you're playing against this game in the Champions League and then Arsenal the weekend. Those are the 2 games you're definitely playing, and that's what would happen. And I think Ollie needs to do a similar thing. To Wass's point, we need to keep these guys ticking over. Basically, we can't have a 6-game stretch. And it's like Matic come in now and he's got no legs and he has a performance like he did against Leicester last season where he got played around too easy. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
And to Z's point, that's what I've only seen him do that. That's the only change I've seen him make in midfield is where he puts Pogba's on the bench, putting him in midfield. But that's it. That has to be Donny now to move forward. Hopefully that happens.
I think in terms of tempo and control, I think Donny's our best central midfielder, to be honest, or best number 8 in terms of actual getting rhythm in the game and making it. Because Donny's 1 and 2 touch. Yeah, Donny's 1 and 2 touch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Velvetron says don't underestimate Perraud, Saints' new left back. He's very good and highly rated. Does anyone know much about him? Because
if he's going up against Wan-Bissaka, it don't matter.
No.
Especially on the inside. Anyone that goes on the outside against Wan-Bissaka, you know Wan-Bissaka's got him. It's when they come on the inside.
And even then, he can intercept pretty well as well, actually. He's a strange player, that boy. I've seen him
yes.
They run off the back of him and he'll know to intercept, but track a diagonal ball and he's like, where's the ball? I don't know if we've said this to you, Wes. Last season, do you remember this game where a ball bounced in front of him 7 yards and he lost flight of it? Do you remember that?
I think so. It's ringing a bell.
It bounced right there where my TV is, and he went like this. He lost it. Strange. I don't understand that guy.
Yeah, he's hard to explain Wan-Bissaka, to be honest. But I think we're fine with him though. I don't think it's it's a. I think Gary Neville mentioned it on the overlap where he said we've got Shaw, we've got Varane, we've got Maguire, and then we've got Bissaka. It's still an okay to good player. To get what I mean? It's not it's not. If Delors was playing there, I don't.
I don't. I'm not impressed by Delors at all. I don't get the obsession.
It's because he's technically good. That's all they need to see, Rachel's technique and skill. And he's a top player, and he's a world-class player.
It's not even that. It's that he's not being played. That's what it is. Ollie's not playing him, so he has to play.
Yeah,
that is mad. Listen, we're going to wrap up, but please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, or wherever you are on Twitch, Facebook, follow, wherever that may be. Please go and follow Wes. United Analytics handles right there. It's in the description. Incredible threads. Go check them out. They're on his Twitter. Go and check that. Go and check out Danny's latest video as well on Devil in Details. Go and do that. You know where to find Danny, again in the description.
Yeah, slapping around Ollie Outers, if you don't know, backhands only.
Yeah,
for those guys.
Yeah, beg you, just follow him and look at his quote tweets. Honestly, they're hilarious. They're brilliant.
Give them a follow.
Great source of entertainment for me, honestly. Love it. But people, Was, obviously we want to get you on again. Danny's always here. Everyone knows Danny is now. People who aren't Man United fans know Danny is the guy that thinks Man United are going to win the league. But
if put the asterisks, come on.
If Martial turns up, of course.
I saw it. I watched that stream. Was it with Nuruddin? I think it was. It was like I think I watched them back to back, to be honest, because I was watching it on my PlayStation.
But Rachel, you have to put the asterisks. Don't do me like that, please.
Yeah, I keep forgetting, but I'm aware that that's what you said as well.
But that point Danny made is it makes sense, because then that means everyone else in front are playing well as well. So if everyone else is playing if you've got Pogba on form, you've got Sancho on form, you've got Bruno's goals, pretty much you're going to be second, third. You might be 2 weeks away. You're going to be there. You just need a bit of luck going your way, and we're not going to be far away.
Do you know what it is as well? Remember when we had 4 strikers? We have the same thing with forwards now, right? It's a 3 and a 1, but it's Pogba, it's Rashford, it's Sancho, it's Martial, it's Cavani, it's Greenwood. Well, 6 players, my bad. We've got 6. So with those 6 players, the goals they're going to accumulate, we're going to win a trophy this season. If Martial shows up big time, I said it here, innit? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know how fans can't be optimistic at the start of a season, man. It's a brand new season. We've signed Varane, we've signed Sancho, we've filled in 2 key areas. We've got a world-class centre back in Varane. We've won 14 out of 14 finals. We've got Sancho, one of the, I think was he second or third in terms of best creators in the past 3 seasons. I think only Muller and De Bruyne were ahead. Why you complain? You can't always complain. You got to have positive intentions for your team.
Well, spot on, because I don't understand how these fans go into games already being miserable about it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to enjoy football.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's supposed to be entertainment, right?
Mate, I saw people being negative after we won 5-1. I couldn't believe it. Like, we had a good performance. It was against Leeds. Old Trafford was like on fire. Varane was announced. Like, the Varane unveiling just was amazing. I just enjoyed watching that. And I had the sound off as well because I was doing a watch along and it was still great. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, and as an inner, I'm an elf, never a dwarf. I'm 6 rounds away as well. So.
Yeah, to be fair, elves are superior, to be fair. But that's a whole different conversation. Bit too nerdy up in here. But yeah, people, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next week, same time.
The gamer says it's too nerdy up in here. Okay.
Yeah, I have to tone it down, so do you. That's how it works, okay?
All right, we'll turn it down.
It's only fair. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, people, take care, and thank you for watching. Please smash that like button as well.
Smash it.